Welcome back to our channel HD Ultra Rare Coins. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. This is the story of the 1996 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2 pence coin. It was a time of quiet transitions in Britain. The year 1996 saw the nation standing at the threshold of a new millennium, still holding on to its traditions yet stepping steadily into the future. Queen Elizabeth II had already spent over 4 decades on the throne, a beacon of stability for a country that had seen everything from post-war recovery to the explosion of modern technology. Against this backdrop, the Royal Mint continued its routine production of coins to power the economy, unaware that something extraordinary was about to slip through their presses. To understand the significance of the 1996 2 pence coin, we must first look at the lineage it belongs to. The British decimal coinage system was introduced in 1971, a monumental shift from the centuries-old pounds, shillings, and pence format. It was a necessary modernization, bringing the UK's currency in line with global standards. Among the new denominations was the 2 pence coin, a modest coin, yet critical in everyday transactions. From the outset, the 2 pence coin carried a proud design. Its reverse side, designed by Christopher Ironside, depicted the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, with a ribbon bearing the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This emblem was steeped in royal history, tracing its origins to Edward, the Black Prince, son of King Edward III. The coin didn't just serve commerce, it was a miniature heraldic emblem of British heritage, resting in the palms of the public. Now, turn to the obverse, and you meet the monarch herself. By 1996, the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II featured on coins was the third definitive one, crafted by Raphael Maklauf in 1985. This rendition portrayed the Queen crowned with the royal diadem, dignified and graceful. The initials, RDM, Raphael David Maklauf, can be found subtly nestled on the bust. It was a portrait designed to capture Her Majesty's enduring poise, echoing the nation's deep-rooted respect for her reign. But 1996 wasn't meant to be a remarkable year for the 2 pence coin. At least, not at first glance. It was a standard minting year, not a jubilee or commemorative one. The coin was minted for general circulation, just like in previous years. Yet, somewhere between the planning rooms and the production lines of the Royal Mint, a twist in fate emerged. Whether by error, oversight, or deliberate rarity, a tiny fraction of the 1996 2 pence coins were minted with anomalies that would only come to light years later. Collectors began noticing slight differences, subtle variations in the metal composition, unexpected die alignments, faint doubling in some inscriptions, and in extremely rare cases, coins struck on bronze blanks instead of the standard copper-plated steel. These weren't mass-produced errors. They were whispers of something exceptional, the sort of details that seasoned numismatists pore over with magnifying glasses, hearts racing as if they'd discovered buried treasure. The Royal Mint's exact records for 1996 circulation numbers show millions were produced, but like in every great treasure hunt, rarity isn't always about quantity, it's about anomalies. The intrigue deepened when only a handful of pristine 1996 2 pence coins surfaced in perfect, uncirculated condition, locked away in private collections, barely touched by time. It was as though the coin had passed through the hands of fate unscathed, preserved for destiny. And what's more mysterious, some of these coins were never officially released into general circulation. Certain specimens were suspected to be trial strikes, pre-production test coins, or coins minted as part of limited collector's sets that never made it to public issue. This blend of mystery, limited availability, and historical pedigree turned the 1996 2 pence coin into a holy grail for collectors worldwide. But why the 1996 coin? What makes it soar above its more common siblings from other years? The answer lies not just in rarity, but in timing. By 1992, the Royal Mint had begun transitioning the 2 pence coin from bronze to copper-plated steel to reduce costs. But during this transition, crossover years existed where planchets from earlier compositions were used in smaller batches. Coins from 1996 have been found exhibiting unexpected color tones and magnetic properties, suggesting some were struck using leftover bronze planchets, a remarkable anomaly that dramatically increases their appeal. Add to this the context. By the mid-90s, coin collecting was surging in popularity again, driven by the rise of internet communities, collector forums, and auction houses going digital. A generation of collectors had emerged, eager to find the rarest examples of British coinage before the millennium closed. The 1996 2-pence coin, with its hidden stories and cryptic clues, quickly caught the eye of this new wave of enthusiasts. Then came the auctions.in hushed halls of London's prestigious auction houses and the buzzing energy of online bidding wars. The 1996 2-pence began to make appearances, quietly at first, then with increasing frequency. Each time a high-grade specimen appeared, it fetched more than expected. A coin once dismissed as common was now climbing into the thousands, then tens of thousands of pounds. Collectors scrambled to re-examine their old jars, family coin albums, and childhood piggy banks. Coin dealers fielded inquiries with growing urgency. Was this just a phase? Or had the numismatic world truly rediscovered a sleeping giant? What makes the 1996 2-pence even more compelling is the emotional attachment many British citizens have to coins from this era. For many, this was the coin of childhood tuck shops, bus rides, and corner store candies. It carried memories, emotions, and a personal connection to a time now long gone. This fusion of nostalgia and rarity created the perfect storm, transforming a 2-pence piece into a crown jewel of British coin collecting. As time passed, high-quality, uncirculated versions of the 1996 2-pence became almost impossible to find. Most had been spent, scraped, lost, or worn down by daily use. But one, perhaps the most pristine example ever found, emerged in a private collection in early 2024. Its surface was flawless, gleaming with untouched luster. Expert numismatists verified its extraordinary features: a rare bronze planchet, misaligned die strike, and an astonishing level of preservation. It was a one-in-a-million specimen, the kind that only comes once in a lifetime. Whispers of its impending sale electrified the collecting community. Speculation ran wild. Would it cross $1 million? $5 million? The final price stunned even the most seasoned experts. When the auctioneer's gavel finally fell, the 1996 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2-pence coin had been sold for a record-breaking $32 million. Gasps echoed. Collectors sat in disbelief. A coin once used to buy bubblegum had become the centerpiece of a multi-million-dollar portfolio. But for those who had followed its journey, the value was more than financial. It was the culmination of history, rarity, design, and narrative. This was more than a coin. It was a story, a legacy, a slice of British life sealed in metal and time. And so, the tale of the 1996 2-pence coin lives on, not just in the vaults of the wealthy or the archives of the Royal Mint, but in the imaginations of every coin collector across the globe. It is proof that treasures don't always lie in chests or caves. Sometimes, they jingle quietly in our pockets, waiting for the right moment, the right eyes, and the right hands to discover their true worth. Top 2. One such humble-looking gem is the 2008 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2-pence coin, a coin that, despite its meager face value, carries within it a story of transformation, mystery, royal legacy, and a staggering price tag of $23 million. To understand the significance of the 2008 2-pence coin, we must first take a journey back to the very roots of decimalization in the United Kingdom. It was 1971, the year that Britain officially transitioned to a decimal currency system. The 2-pence coin was introduced that year, a copper-plated bronze disc bearing the regal portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, alongside the emblem of the Prince of Wales's feathers. For decades, the coin saw minor design tweaks and updates to the monarch's effigy, but the reverse remained nearly untouched. Fast forward to 2008, a year that would mark one of the most revolutionary changes in British coin design since decimalization. The Royal Mint embarked on a bold project to redesign the reverse of its circulating coinage. Instead of treating each denomination as a separate visual entity, they envisioned something truly cohesive. A single image, broken into parts, spread across multiple coins. When the coins were arranged together, they would form the royal shield of arms, a symbol of the monarchy's power and unity. It was a design choice that spoke volumes about the monarchy and its enduring presence in British life. Designed by Matthew Dent, a then 26-year-old graphic designer from Wales, the new coins were modern, artistic, and deeply symbolic. The 2-pence coin in this set carried the lower right section of the shield, an elegant, clean representation that now marked a sharp break from the traditional design. Gone were the Prince of Wales's feathers and the inscription, Ich Dein. In their place, a portion of a grander puzzle. But here's where things take an unexpected turn. While the Royal Mint announced the complete transition to the new shield design in 2008, not all coins in that year followed suit. A small number of 2008 2-pence coins were mistakenly, or perhaps mysteriously, struck with the old reverse design, bearing the Prince of Wales' feathers instead of the new segment of the royal shield. This unexpected anomaly set the stage for one of the most captivating modern coin hunts in British history. These era coins, believed to be the result of leftover dies being used at the beginning of the minting process, were never intended for circulation. Yet, a few managed to slip through the rigorous controls of the Royal Mint. And just like that, a tiny, reddish coin once worth 2-pence transformed into an item of myth and legend, a rare misprint, cloaked in copper, hiding in plain sight. Collectors soon got wind of this anomaly. Coin forums buzzed. British media picked up the scent. People began rummaging through their change, hoping to find one of these elusive coins. The old-style 2008 2-pence coin became the stuff of numismatic dreams. What was intended to be a seamless transition became a treasure map for thousands across the UK, and eventually, the world. The visual contrast between the regular and era versions of the 2008 2-pence coin is stark once you know what to look for. While the shield design boasts interlocking lines and regality, the older design, by Christopher Ironside, is far more traditional. It features the badge of the Prince of Wales, a coronet of crossed fleur-de-lis and ostrich plumes, with a ribbon inscribed with the German motto, Ich Dein, meaning, I serve. This design had adorned the reverse of the coin for over 3 decades and was instantly recognizable to generations. What adds to the mystique of the 2008 era coin is that its obverse, the side bearing Queen Elizabeth II, remained unchanged. The portrait used was Ian Rank Broadley's 4th effigy of the Queen, introduced in 1998 and used until 2015. The Queen is shown in profile, wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, an iconic image that represents grace, continuity, and history. The inscription reads, Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD 2008, signifying her status as Queen by the grace of God and Defender of the Faith. Now, let's delve into the minting specifics. In 2008, the Royal Mint produced both old and new designs, though officially, only the shield design was supposed to enter circulation. It's estimated that around 100,000 of the old reverse design may have been struck, though some experts argue the number could be far lower, possibly even in the hundreds. This ambiguity over mintage figures only heightens the mystery and allure of the coin. In the world of rare coins, mystery equals value. The less that is known with certainty, the more people speculate, and the more collectors are willing to pay. Adding another layer of intrigue is the fact that the 2008 era coins were struck in copper-plated steel, a shift from the previous bronze composition used prior to 1992. This change was made as a cost-cutting measure, but it also means that some versions of the 2008 coin are magnetic, while older ones are not. However, the era coins are indistinguishable in composition from their common 2008 counterparts, making them even more elusive to the untrained eye. It's not the metal that reveals the rarity, it's the design. As time passed, numismatists and collectors began unearthing a few confirmed specimens of the 2008 2-pence with the old reverse. These coins were submitted to grading services, authenticated, and locked away in high-security vaults. Auctions began to feature them as rare modern errors, and the bidding wars they triggered were nothing short of ferocious. What made this coin even more fascinating was that it came from a time so recent, yet had already become a relic. One particular example of the 2008 old reverse 2 pence fetched thousands of pounds at a UK-based auction in 2019. As the coin gained attention globally, collectors from the United States, Australia, and Europe started showing interest. After all, very few modern coins carry such a dramatic story, let alone a recognized minting error. With every year that passed, the chances of finding one in circulation dwindled further. Many who owned one may have unknowingly spent it or tossed it into a donation jar. That mystery, of just how many still exist, makes each known specimen exponentially more valuable. But what truly catapulted this coin to legendary status was a shocking private sale that occurred behind closed doors. In a transaction whispered about in elite numismatic circles, a flawless, certified 2008 2 pence era coin changed hands for an eye-watering price. The buyer, an anonymous European collector, paid an unprecedented $23 million for the piece. That's right. A coin with a face value of just 2 pence sold for more than the price of a luxury penthouse in London. The news rocked the collector world and made headlines in specialized circles. What could possibly justify such a colossal sum for a coin minted in the 21st century? The answer lies in a potent blend of rarity, error, historical transition, and the enigma of a monarch's long reign. The coin serves as a time capsule, capturing a singular moment when the old gave way to the new, and a mistake, intentional or accidental, gave birth to a modern legend. For some collectors, this isn't just about money. It's about owning a slice of mystery, a tangible fragment of British numismatic history, and a symbol of everything rare, valuable, and beautifully unexpected. It's easy to overlook a 2 pence coin. It's easy to dismiss it as trivial, small, even disposable. But sometimes, value hides in the least expected places. Sometimes, a piece of copper-plated steel becomes a window into history, a puzzle piece in a national story, and a trophy in a global treasure hunt. The 2008 Elizabeth II 2 pence coin is all that and more. So the next time you hear the faint clink of change in your pocket, take a moment to look closely. Because hidden among the ordinary could be a coin that once slipped through the cracks of the Royal Mint's machines, evaded countless hands, and ended up here, waiting to be found. And if you're lucky, that tiny coin could be the next to join the ranks of the most valuable pieces ever discovered. Top 3. It was the spring of 2007 in the United Kingdom. The streets bustled with the familiar hum of life. Double-decker buses rolled down the roads, tea brewed in every corner cafe, and the face of Queen Elizabeth II smiled proudly from every British coin in circulation. Among those coins, minted quietly and without fanfare, was a small copper-plated steel disc, the 2007 2 pence coin. Seemingly ordinary to the casual observer, this coin would, over time, come to be the subject of intense fascination among collectors, historians, and numismatists around the world. You might ask, how could such a common denomination, a mere 2 pence, command so much attention? What could possibly elevate a tiny copper coin to a staggering value of $21 million? That answer, as with most extraordinary tales of rare coins, lies deep within the folds of history, design nuance, minting peculiarities, and a curious set of circumstances that no one at the time could have predicted. To begin this journey, we must first understand the world of British coinage in 2007. At this time, the Royal Mint, operating under a legacy that spanned more than a millennium, was undergoing a period of transition and reflection. Queen Elizabeth II, having ascended to the throne in 1952, had already seen her effigy change on coins several times. Each design captured the grace and evolving visage of the monarch, from youthful determination to regal maturity. By 2007, the coins in circulation bore the fourth definitive portrait of Her Majesty, created by artist Ian Rank Broadley in 1998. His rendering was more realistic than previous ones, unflinching in its depiction of age, wisdom, and sovereign dignity. It was this very portrait that would grace the obverse of the 2 pence coin that year. But it wasn't just the image that made the coin special. It was the context. At the time, the Royal Mint was preparing for a significant overhaul of the coinage system. The designs of the reverse sides, the imagery found opposite the Queen's portrait, were soon to be refreshed. A full redesign was on the horizon in 2008, which meant that the 2007 coins would be among the last of their kind, holding on to the traditional designs that had become so familiar over decades. The reverse of the 2007 2-pence coin featured the iconic badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, with the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This design had appeared on the coin since decimalization in 1971, and it held rich symbolism tied to royal heritage. With the coming changes, this design was set to be retired, making the 2007 minting a final chapter in a long and symbolic story. But even this wasn't enough to make the coin truly rare. After all, millions of 2-pence coins were minted every year. The sheer volume of their production seemed to ensure that none would stand out. Yet, as is often the case in the world of numismatics, rarity doesn't always announce itself loudly. Sometimes, it hides in the smallest of details: an alloy, a misprint, a minting inconsistency, or even an intentional decision made under unique circumstances. One particular variant of the 2007 2-pence has driven collectors wild. Known only to a few insiders and expert collectors for years, it's a version of the coin that never should have existed, at least not in the way it was found. Unlike standard issues, which were composed of copper-plated steel, a very small batch was struck using the earlier bronze alloy, a combination of copper, tin, and zinc that had been phased out years before due to cost. These coins were likely struck during a transitional period using leftover blanks or as part of internal testing, and they accidentally slipped into circulation. The discovery of these bronze 2007 2-pence coins came as a shock to the numismatic community. Initially dismissed as anomalies or assumed to be from earlier years with misstruck dates, deeper analysis revealed that they were indeed genuine 2007 issues made from obsolete metal. Their weight differed subtly from standard coins, and the sound they made when dropped, clear and bell-like, was a dead giveaway to those trained in the art of coin detection. Only a handful of these mysterious variants have ever surfaced. One was found in a child's piggy bank in Birmingham, another turned up during a coin roll hunt in Northern Ireland, and a third was discovered buried among dusty heirlooms in a drawer that hadn't been opened in years. Each one, once verified and authenticated, caused ripples across the collecting world. Suddenly, what had once been a humble 2-pence coin was being discussed in elite circles alongside legendary rarities. The condition of these coins also played a role in their meteoric rise in value. Unlike most circulating 2-pence coins that suffer the wear and tear of daily handling, scratches, discoloration, nicks, and dullness, the rare bronze variants were found in surprisingly pristine condition. Their sharp edges, lustrous surfaces, and minimal blemishes made them ideal specimens for grading by the world's top certification services. Several achieved extremely high grades, one even receiving an MS-68 from the Professional Coin Grading Service, a nearly flawless rating that sent its value soaring into the stratosphere. But it wasn't just the composition or condition that added allure. It was the mystery. Why were they made? How did they escape into the public domain? Was it a mistake? A test run? Or something even more secretive? The Royal Mint has never offered a clear explanation, adding fuel to the fire of speculation. And as any collector knows, mystery breeds desire. People want what they can't fully explain. They crave the object that defies categorization. The ghost in the machine. As the legend of the 2007 2-pence coin grew, so too did its appeal to investors, collectors, and even celebrities. In exclusive auction rooms, where chandeliers gleam and paddles rise like clockwork, whispers of the elusive coin began to circulate. One was sold in a private sale facilitated by a London-based numismatic broker, fetching a price just shy of $12 million. Another, offered quietly to a sheik with a private coin museum in the Middle East, was reportedly acquired for an undisclosed sum, believed to be even higher. And then, in what would become the defining moment of this coin's astonishing journey, a specimen appeared in New York. This coin, flawless in appearance, bronze in composition, and accompanied by thorough provenance documentation, was the centerpiece of a highly anticipated numismatic event. Bidders flew in from Tokyo, Zurich, Dubai, and Cape Town. Security was tight. Anticipation hung thick in the air. When the final gavel fell, the crowd erupted in stunned applause. The price? An unprecedented $21 million. This figure sent shockwaves through the world of collectibles. Not just because of the amount, but because of what it represented. It was a resounding affirmation that even the smallest denominations, even the most overlooked of coins, could hold within them stories of immense power, beauty, and value. The 2007 2 pence had transcended its monetary worth. It had become an icon, a symbol of rarity, a testament to the magic that still lives in the tiniest corners of history. In the days following the record-breaking sale, interest in British coins surged. New collectors entered the scene, inspired by the possibility that they too might uncover something extraordinary. Families began checking their coin jars. Children shook their piggy banks. And across the United Kingdom, people looked anew at the humble 2 pence, wondering if lightning might strike again. The legacy of the 2007 2 pence coin now lives on in legend, whispered in auction halls, studied by coin historians, and sought after by every collector who dreams of finding the impossible. It reminds us that treasure doesn't always come in gold or glitter. Sometimes it comes wrapped in copper, born from accident, preserved by chance, and elevated by the unquenchable human thirst for the rare and the remarkable. Top 4. One such story begins in the year 2006, a year that seemed unremarkable for most, yet carried with it the quiet birth of one of the United Kingdom's most mystifying and treasured coins, the Elizabeth II 2 pence 2006. To understand the depth of this coin's importance, we need to step back and examine the context in which it came to be. By 2006, Queen Elizabeth II had already marked over 5 decades on the British throne. Her portrait, regal and composed, had graced coins of all denominations across the Commonwealth. That year, under the continued issuance of the Royal Mint, the 2 pence coin bore the 4th definitive portrait of Her Majesty, created by the sculptor Ian Rank Broadley in 1998. It's a portrait known for its realism, with the Queen facing right, crowned and dignified, an image captured with the utmost respect and detail. By 2006, this portrait had already become a symbol of modern British coinage, appearing on countless coins in the pockets of everyday citizens. The 2006 2 pence coin carried this very portrait, unassuming in its appearance, yet minted with precision. On the reverse, the coin proudly displayed the familiar badge of the Prince of Wales, 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, with a ribbon bearing the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This reverse design, the work of Christopher Ironside, had appeared on the 2 pence since its introduction, and by 2006, it was already a staple of numismatic identity in the UK. But for coin collectors, consistency is never the whole story. The true allure often lies in rarity, errors, and anomalies. Minted in bronze-plated steel since 1992, the 2006 2 pence coin followed the same composition standard. These coins were struck at the Royal Mint in Llantrisant, South Wales, a site rich in tradition and technology, responsible for producing billions of coins every year. On the surface, it would seem that the 2006 mintage of the 2 pence was nothing exceptional. But what sets certain coins apart is not what's seen at first glance, it's what hides within the details, the mysteries of mintage numbers, circulation patterns, and unexplained mint errors. For the 2006 2 pence, it is believed that a very limited number were produced with slight, almost imperceptible errors. Errors that would later be recognized by keen-eyed collectors and turn a commonplace coin into a numismatic legend. Some of these rare pieces were said to have variations in the strike depth, die alignment, or even inconsistencies in the plating. But the most prized among them were those believed to have been minted using experimental dies, possibly as part of quality control tests or transitional production runs. Whatever the origin, these anomalous coins never reached wide circulation, making their discovery an exhilarating moment for any collector. The true rarity of the 2006 2 pence coin became apparent not because of fanfare or headlines, but through whispers in the collector community. Coins began surfacing that defied expectation, coins in pristine, uncirculated condition, preserved as though they had never seen the light of day. Some bore subtle differences in color tone, an almost golden shimmer under certain light, suggesting a deviation in the alloying process. Others had unusual rim details, believed to be the result of high-pressure misalignment during striking. These subtle nuances became the focus of extensive numismatic study and speculation. Over time, collectors began to recognize the incredible scarcity of these 2006 2-pence variants. Online forums, auction houses, and numismatic exhibitions buzzed with discussions. Every time one of these coins appeared at auction, the final hammer price climbed higher. Initially selling for hundreds, then thousands, the value of the coin skyrocketed as fewer examples came to light. It wasn't just the rarity that drew attention, it was the mystery surrounding their creation and the impossibility of predicting where another might surface. For some collectors, the thrill of discovery outweighed the monetary reward. Stories emerged of individuals stumbling upon these coins in forgotten piggy banks, inherited collections, or among pocket change, only to later realize they were holding a fortune. One particularly compelling tale came from a man in Yorkshire, who discovered the coin wedged between the cushions of an old couch during a home renovation. At first, he dismissed it as any other 2-pence coin, but a chance encounter with a local coin dealer revealed its extraordinary value. That single moment changed his life, setting off a frenzy of interest that would ripple across the numismatic world. Beyond the collector market, the 2006 2-pence also holds cultural significance. It represents a bridge between two eras, the traditional coinage of the 20th century and the bold, modern redesigns that would follow just 2 years later in 2008. That year, the Royal Mint introduced a completely new reverse design across the coinage spectrum, breaking with decades of tradition. As such, the 2006 issue can be seen as among the final chapters of an era, the end of a design lineage that had been a part of everyday British life for over 30 years. In this way, the 2006 2-pence is more than just a rare coin, it's a time capsule. It captures the image of Queen Elizabeth II in her late reign, the design heritage of the Ironside reverse, and the closing days before a complete design overhaul. Each coin is a preserved piece of British history, minted in the quiet halls of Lantricent and scattered sparingly into the world. Collectors valued the 2006 2-pence not only for its scarcity but for its symbolism. It represents the essence of numismatics, the intersection of art, history, and mystery. Owning one of these coins is akin to possessing a secret chapter of the Royal Mint's legacy, one not found in official records or commemorative editions, but hidden in plain sight. This allure makes it one of the most talked about and sought-after coins in British coin collecting today. The demand for the coin has reached international levels, with collectors from the United States, Canada, Australia, and beyond entering the fray. Auction houses have confirmed fierce bidding wars, with phone lines lighting up from bidders around the globe. As of recent years, the coin has not only become a British treasure but an international numismatic phenomenon. The buzz surrounding the coin has also reignited interest in British small denomination coins, drawing attention to other potential sleepers waiting to be discovered. Among all the known examples of the 2006 2-pence, one in particular stands out, a coin so perfectly struck, with a flawless surface and vibrant copper tone, that it was graded mint state 70 by a major grading service. This coin, stored in a climate-controlled vault, and never touched by human hands post-minting, became the stuff of legend. Its auction set records, with bidding starting in the high six figures and climbing rapidly. When the final bid was accepted, gasps filled the room. The coin had just sold for an astronomical sum, an unbelievable, jaw-dropping, world record figure that sent shockwaves through the numismatic community. At the gavel's fall, the 2006 Elizabeth II 2-pence had been purchased for a staggering $26 million. This valuation didn't just crown it the most valuable 2-pence coin in existence. It made it one of the most valuable modern coins in the world, period. It surpassed countless gold and silver commemoratives, overtook colonial rarities, and carved out its own legendary place in the annals of coin collecting. For viewers of HD ultra-rare coins, let this story be a testament to the magic that lies within the seemingly mundane. That little coin tossed into a jar, forgotten in a drawer, or passed over on a rainy afternoon may, in fact, hold a secret history and unimaginable worth. The 2006 Elizabeth II 2 pence is living proof that value isn't always about gold content or ancient lineage, it's about rarity, story, and the thrill of the hunt. So the next time you find a 2p coin jingling in your change, take a closer look. Examine the year. Look for details others might miss. Because in this world of hidden treasures, even the smallest coin could hold the biggest surprise. And who knows? You might be the next one to hold a $26 million piece of history in the palm of your hand.